Hello and welcome back to Angular 2 Masterclass with Alejandro Rangel. In this section, we will talk about modular code, about modules in TypeScript. So, why do we need modules in the first hand? The first point is that in JavaScript, when you code, normally you have everything in the window, in the global scope. So if you define a variable, let's say variable name, and later on in other area of the code you define again name, you will override the code. So yeah, you can keep controlling, okay, don't override name. But at some point you will add third-party libraries and you cannot control what they introduce in your code, right? So they can define also in their library a name, and then they are overriding your libraries or vice versa. So the problem with this is that none of them can control the behavior of the application, and then they will appear really weird bugs. So we have to try to avoid as much as possible using global variables and to add them in our code. Actually, it's a forbidden rule. There shouldn't be global variables at all. Okay, so modules come to the rescue of this, and this is a way to isolate our code. So inside a module, inside this area of code, even if you define a variable name, if you have another module, both will be isolated, so we are not overwriting the variables from one to each other. This is not new. This is what Java does with package and spaces, also C# and so on. And it's a very cool feature from TypeScript and ES6. So TypeScript defines two types of modules, internal modules and external modules. Let's take a look on this briefly. So we can, once we start writing modules, this we agree that is an encapsulated code that other modules can't access to what is inside unless we mark our function, class, or variable with the keyword export. The keyword export will tell to TypeScript that, okay, for example, class car is accessible outside our module. Okay. This is important because in Angular 2, we will be working with TypeScript, and we will see how we need to use the keyword export to our components and services, directive, pipes, and so on. All of them needs to export the class in order to provide this logic to other components. Okay. So let's take a look on this example for internal modules. So you define a module, my module, and inside you can put any kind of code. Everything that you put without the export keyword, you can think about it as a private. Nobody can access to this outside these brackets of my module. But once you mark a function or a variable, for example, in this case, say hi is marked as export, and the variable counter is also marked as export, then you can call your module and execute the functions and also read or write the value to the counter. So this is a way to expose data outside your module. Also, if you are working with different files and different modules, you need a way to import and export modules that are defined in other places. So you can, for example, in this case, import my module, then use the keyword from TypeScript module, and then you are specifying that you want to import my module with the name my module. That doesn't mean that we can rename the left my module to a different name, and this way it doesn't collide with the other variable that we call my module. Okay, and after that we can call any function or variable that is exported from the module. Also, We can use this kind of syntax. This is the one that we will see in Angular 2 very often. We can import the class car and the class convertible from our module car. This is what we are saying in the first line, and after that we can start using car and convertible as a normal class from our code. Remember this slide and think about it, because we will use it a lot after we finish with the TypeScript part of the masterclass. Finally, to finish with this video, it's important to mention how do we organize in our modules. Theoretically, we should have one module per class, but this is not valid all the time, because you can have a module spread in different files. But to keep it simple, you should have a module in one file, and then your project will look like this. We have a module employee. Inside is all the code that handle employees. Then we have person, exactly the same, and then one that is the application. So how do they relate each other? And okay, where is the other module? Where are the reference? This is a way that TypeScript provides to us to refer to other files and then to import them. So you need to use a 3 / and then use reference, path, and point to the file. So in the case of the app.ts, we are saying, okay, we will work with person.ts and employee.ts. From there, we can start coding in the app.ts. In the case of the employee, we can do exactly the same with the person, because this is one dependency for our code. This is just a brief introduction of project organization and how you should do the reference between different files in TypeScript. So see you in the next video.